Alright everybody, Reggie Evers from Front Row Report. I am joined today by Tater from 10 Years, man. Thanks for giving me a call, and I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
Man, the new album, From Birth to Burial, coming out in about 3 weeks? 2 weeks from yesterday, I think?
It sure as hell better be. yeah, man. Really excited. We recorded this one here at home in Knoxville, Tennessee, with our old drummer and old bandmate, Brian Bodine. He's like just an amazing, talented guy. I've known him since probably about 94 or 95. We go way back. We actually started 10 Years in 1998 with Matt Watlin and a couple other guys, our old guitar player, Matt, and Lewis, and Jesse, our singer, used to come watch the original 10 Years play at the Prince Deli. Actually, Brent Smith from Shinedown had a band that used to play there too. So it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. We've not how long we've known that guy.
Man.
That guy. And then Jesse used to come, and then we went and watched his band, and they were really bad, but he was really good. So it was, and then our singer didn't want to really do it anymore, and we got together with Jesse and kind of revamped the band a little bit. We were a little heavier before, but Jesse's just got such a pretty voice. It was like we really ought to, utilize that. But he did some screaming on this new record that was pretty cool, very Chino-esque, which is cool. Yeah. We love the Deftones, and now we're buddies with them, which is pretty crazy to go back and tell the high school me that. It would be like, whoa, really? Whoa.
Man.
It was good. It's cool. They're super sweet guys, super fun. And we did Family Values with them. I met Steph, the guitar player, over in Germany or something, and I had run across something that they were interested in. I guess that's like Dr. Green Thumb, and so we got to be buddies, and then did that tour together.
Man.
Great dudes, great band. One of my favorite bands in the world.
Oh, they're so good. I can't wait for the new album.
Yeah.
Oh, the new album is so good.
I got to play a song with them. They came here to Knoxville, and actually the venue that I call my church, it used to be called the Electric Ballroom, where I saw my first show when I was 14. It was Offspring and Rancid. Changed my life. Oh, it changed my life. Changed my entire life. My whole direction went that way. It was like a clairvoyant, being touched by God or the devil or whatever, whoever it was. And so they came to Knoxville, and I got to get up there and play one of my favorite songs. It would be my fight song, Head Up, off of Around the Fur. And I got to play Chino's guitar, and it was it was arguably one of the coolest things ever, Man. One of the coolest days of my entire life without a professional,
That's crazy.
You can imagine, because we did a festival with them. I was like, let me play a song with you guys, and you come to Knoxville. And they're like, okay, what are you going to do? I was like, Head Up. And I was like, do you mean bring your guitar? And Chino was like, no, man, you can just play mine. I'm like, okay, Chino from the Deftones, I'll just play your guitar. Okay, this is really happening. And I rocked out so hard I threw up. I was jumping around like a maniac.
You have to.
And Steph was just smiling ear to ear. It was cool. It was really cool moments.
Oh man, dude.
And now 10 Years headlines that place, that same venue, and sells it out. So it's always a good feeling going there.
Nice.
It was like my church. I was raised in church, but that place was definitely. It felt like my church. The punk rock, the energy, the moshing, it was it. So it's always, every time we play there, I got to stand in the exact same spot that I stood when I was 14.
Nice.
And remember, And actually, I still have the ticket, and we did a festival with the Offspring. I got it signed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They were like, whoa. I remember Noodles, the guitar player, was like, I remember that show. Rancher was throwing ice at us. I was like, yes, they were. Holy cow, how do you remember that? I can't remember yesterday on tour, And got to meet that legendary producer, Bob Rock, that night.
Nice.
And sit there and talk to him, like, look at this, Bob. I've got this ticket. And he's like, that's so cool, man. And I'm like sitting there rubbing elbows, talking to Bob Rock just going, what is going on, man?
You got to picture yourself. Is this really happening? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, and he talked about him getting to work with David Bowie's guitar player. He just idolized him.
Oh, wow.
And then he was sitting in the studio with him. It was like that kind of camaraderie thing, you know. So I still have an in with Bob Rock if I ever run into him again.
Nice.
Pretty funny.
Tap him for a future album, maybe.
Yeah. I don't think we can afford them.
That'd be awesome.
The rock and roll budgets aren't really what they used to be for doing records.
This is true.
This is very true. And you know, out of all the producers we worked with, Brian was more knowledgeable than every one of them. We've had some good engineers, but as far as producers go, they're all a bunch of morons that have talked their way into it and done the squat. And they play the young bands real well, you know, all of them, every one of them. But we had some engineers we really liked a lot, but most of the producers, I mean, they're a bunch of con artists.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, that's why we work with Brian. Brian built a great studio at his house and his downstairs. He's so methodical, and you know, he knows what he wants. And then we just went out there and wrote the music in about 2 weeks. Me and him have been playing in a band together so long. It's a pretty quick process music-wise. Now Jesse, on the other hand, he'll take 6 months. You know, he takes so long. I can't be out there when he's doing it. It doesn't make me hate the song. He'll listen to one chorus part 200 times in a row. And I'm just like, nope, I gotta go. You can have my cut of the money. I care less.
It's like we're not playing this live every night for the next 2 years.
Yeah. I don't see how. Poor Brian, because I'm like Brian's like, you know, he's out there having to do it like just day in and day out, and his brain works on a completely different level. He's like a Dave Grohl type dude. I just see the patience he must have to sit there with Jesse. But you know, the testament to Jesse, everything that he does at the end is does not settle for just, you know, run of the mill. I mean, he wants to try every single thing, and I'm always really happy and blown away. You know, like this record, I think is probably my favorite one because it's probably the only one I can listen to start to finish and be like, yeah, yeah, all right, yeah, good.
Nice.
It's like when it goes heavy, it goes as heavy as we've ever gone. When it goes ethereal, it just floats.
It does.
Wherever, you know, it goes wherever we want it to go, and it's very natural and very, very, very good. You know, now that Brian's technically not in the band anymore, he's kind of coming in as an outside producer,
right,
and still writing and still, you know, but still just having a different approach to it. Kind of him going, oh, screw it, let's just do whatever we want. Like, you know, like, yeah, hey, there's my buddy. Yeah, let's just do whatever we want.
Right.
And let's go heavy, let's go, you know, because I like heavy stuff, but, you know, Jesse's a little more into kind of the ethereal, you know, like you know, he's listen to Radiohead and kind of Bjork and, you know, so it's interesting
stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, let's just rock, you know. I want to play, you know, but I like all that stuff too. I mean, I love Radiohead. You know, I love like Mars Volta. I love kind of just all over the place. But it was good because it's kind of, you can kind of hear both of our ideas of the way we wanted the record to sound in the record. Almost us not arguing about it, because we did argue a little bit about it, but, you know, and I'm like, oh, man, come on, let's rock. You know, like, let's play down-tuned guitars and be loud, and, you know. But, you know, it turned out great, and like I said, I've listened to it so much because I've got a CD in both me and my wife's car, and the kids have their favorite songs. So, you know, I've listened to it a ton.
And you're able to
real happy.
You're able to do exactly what you want with it now, because this is the second album you've done, you know, completely independently. You did Minus the Machine on your own label, Payables. Sure. And now the second one. Does it get easier to do something on your own label and do it all yourself, you know, when you we're around?
Well, we're tied in. The first time we were tied with ILG, which is like a Warner distribution. Okay. Now we're tied in with this great label called Megaforce. Now they want us to go do whatever we want to do, and then we're gonna argue about singles, but argue about good singles, not like the typical record company where they're like, oh, put out, you know, it's like Division. They were like, put out Beautiful first, but you can't put out a ballad first.
No, you can't.
That's not right. We need credibility, people. They, you know, you signed the contract, so they're going to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Right.
And there's not really anything you can do about it. Now, with Megaforce, we're arguing over the first single being From Birth to Burial, which is one of my favorite songs on the album, and Miscellanea. And it was like, what a great argument to be having anyway, you know, because it's not arguing, let's go with the one that we think's like the crossover hit.
Yeah.
You know, we're just going with the one that we think rocks the hardest and to get maybe the foot in the door. You know, I think Miscellanea is getting the foot in the door, and then I think From Birth to Burial should definitely, might have to do a little radio edit, because you can't have anything that's longer than, if it doesn't get to the hook before a minute, it's too long nowadays, apparently, I guess.
It's weird.
I mean, it was just insane. Like, you know, like, I mean, songs like Stairway to Heaven and all these wonderful songs, Bohemian Rhapsody, would never be on the radio now. And it's just so sad. It's like, these bands would have ever made it. And it's so sad that you have to almost become a jingle kind of band to be successful on radio now. It's like, but that's where there's bands headlining arenas that aren't getting any radio play anymore, because there's still art out there that doesn't have to be wrapped up in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you know?
Oh, there's bands that are too heavy for the radio now, you know? Because FM rock radio, at least, has, like, there's like this certain formula you have to follow, and sound they all sound the same, but then you go on XM, and you got a station for everything, you know?
Everything, yeah. We just went up on this last tour, we did like a 6-week tour, and we went up and did the series, the Octane, and stuff like that. Yeah, they're good people up there. It was kind of nerve-wracking doing these songs acoustic recorded, but you know, it was good. It was good. We like you know, all those people, and Roxy, and then it was Lou Brutus, Hard Drive, and all that. I mean, they're like, you know, we've been seeing these people for 10 years, no pun intended. So it's like always great to get in there, and you're always happy to be back, because you're like, well, at least we're still doing it. You know.
Right. Well, I
remember days going to New York City, and not having much to do, and be like, I don't know if this is good. You know, we should be busy. We should be really busy, and we're not. I don't think that's good. Yeah,
no, that can't be good. Well, you guys brought Otherwise out on the road for that last run, which is a really strong up and coming band.
Sure, put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, they do.
Just energetic, and a bunch of the nicest guys.
Oh, by far.
In the music business that I've ever met. Just humble, appreciative, sweet. You know, I mean, just we had a lot of fun with them on this tour. Also, we had another great rock and roll band called the Glorious Sons.
Yeah, Glorious Sons.
Glorious Sons. Yeah, they're out of Canada, but they sound like they're from Tennessee. I mean, it's crazy. They sound like an old school Southern. They look like Leonard Skinner, and they play. I mean, they were amazing. I was blown. And I'm a Tennessee boy, so I like all that classic rock stuff. So I'm like, I went up there and sang a song with them at the end of the last couple of nights. I was like, I love this song. Can I get up there and scream it with you? Because I'm kind of the screamer of our band.
Right.
And then we had our hometown boys, Luminos, who were open to the show from Knoxville. Like, you know, they worked at Guitar Center and Papa John's and stuff. And I was like, hey, would you guys want to go tour with us? I was like, I know you guys have real jobs and stuff. They're like, oh, dude, absolutely. You know, like, they basically quit their jobs, you know, and just like, yeah, let's go on tour. And they're an amazing band. They're one of the best vocalists I have ever heard in my life. I make the joke to Jesse, our singer, I'm like, God, if you ever quit, I'm calling Adam up. He can do it, you know. And Jesse's like, man, I was like, I'm just saying, if you ever did, you didn't care, you know.
Which singers for a show or something?
It was like, like if he came up and did Shoot It Out with us every night.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was great. So my throat got a break from screaming that every night, which is fantastic on a 6-week tour that you're sick for. Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Oh. Sorry, my wife was.
Oh, you're good.
Running kids around, you know. I was like, what? What?
Well, you're bringing the Glorious Sons and Luminoth out on the road again for this, for another run or a couple shows coming up. I think the Glorious Sons are at least playing Louisville with you guys. I think. Yeah,
well, they're doing. I think they're doing something. We had to do a makeup show and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, stayed out for another week after we toured. So I mean, those guys are just. Whew, it's like, man, I'm going home. Good Lord. Like, I am over this, you know. It's fun to do it, but it's funny because we had 5 shows in a row to end it.
Oh, my
God. And it was, so it was like, every day seemed to drag on, and then like the last day, it went so fast. You know, it was like interesting.
Right.
It was like, boom, now home. You know.
Right.
And then I know we're going to be we're taking out another friends of ours on another tour from Knoxville called Skytown Riot.
Nice.
That great rock and roll band. You know, we're basically over trying to take out buy-on bands because that's what a lot of bands do to pay budgets and stuff. But, you know, this tour was so successful because every band, even as different as every one of them was good at what they do and was there because they were good at what they do, not because they had some financial backer, bank, you know, some guy with money that wants to play rock star stuff or whatever. Like, these were all really good bands. And, you know, the shows were great. We sold a handful of them out.
Nice.
You know, and it was definitely one of the most successful tours, headlining tours we've done, if not ever, because of, you know, before when we were kids, we didn't know really much about budgets and, you know, like, we weren't really paying attention as much as we are now.
Right.
So, you know, we'd go on tours that were successful, but come home with a $30,000 bill.
Oh, my God.
You know, and be like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah,
you know, like, right. So, you know, and we've been through that same old rock and roll thing where we had managers stealing money and, you know, people just it's sad. But now we have the right group with our manager, Jay, and it was, you know, with the record company, our booking agency, everybody's like finally gotten weeded out kind of the bad ones and got to where, as a band, you know, we've kind of beat the hump.
Yeah.
You know, of like, are we going to be able to keep doing this? And like, yeah, I think so. I think so. You know, like I mean, really, the only out of the original guys that got signed 10 years ago, me and Jesse, our singer, are the only ones that are left from that group.
Yeah.
Because everybody else started having babies, and you know, the road is not a very glorious place.
Right.
It's glorified in movies and stuff like that, but it's a lot of work. It's tough and it's hard, and you don't sleep well. And you drink too much.
It's luxurious as people.
Yeah, it smells like fart. And people would just kill to try to get on that tour bus. Like, it smells like fart and feet, and just, you know, it's not as glorious as people think. Right. It is a lot of work, and you're sick and you're tired. And you know, we were in a bus wreck. 8 months ago, we got hit by a semi truck. Oh. So yeah, I mean, trying to go to sleep. After that, we were one show away from being home for that whole Minus the Machine record cycle.
Wow.
One show.
Wow.
We got rear-ended by a UPS semi-truck.
Oh, my God.
Knocked our trailer clean off to the other side of the interstate. Knocked out our drummer. He was in the back. Luckily, we were all in our bunks. Man. My wife was out with me. Yeah, I mean, we're still... Our lawyers, we've got a great lawyer in Nashville that's taking care of us.
Good.
But you know, yeah. I mean, so we've got it taken care of. But still, I mean, what a traumatic thing. I mean, this has been my life for the last, I would say, 10 years, but it's 20 years. I mean, you know, we worked at it. I mean, it's just nobody hands this stuff out. You got to work your butt off at it from when you're 16 on. You know, I mean, really, and. So, I mean, I'm 34 now. Right.
You
know, so I've been at it a long time.
So, I mean, looking back on that, it's been a near 20-plus career for 10 years, if you factor everything in.
Sure. 1998. But see, me and Brian knew each other and jammed together when we were in high school. Like, I've known that guy since I think he was 13 years old. What is he, 31 now? I mean, we formed 10 years when they were still in high school.
Man.
You know? So it's been going a long time.
Man.
A really long time.
Looking back on everything, because you guys, like you said, you've been through it all. I mean, you've had the massive success. You've played the big festivals. Now you're independent and all that stuff. I mean, what's the one thing that really sticks out the most from these last however long it's been for 10 years and really kept you guys going the most, and you look back and be like, that's what it is?
Well, I mean, I think we were so serious about it. We weren't real serious people in our lives at all, but we always worked really hard. I mean, that's the thing people just do not get about this life. It's like, you just start working when you sign the record deal, but you've already worked. You've already put in 10 years to get there. you know. And I mean, we were like, when I look back, I'm like, we were like the damn military. I mean, we really were. It was practice 4 or 5 nights a week, no drinking, no drugging, no nothing. Like, you're in there, you're working. We're working on new songs. We're working on our. We have a show in a month. We have who's doing flyers. You know, back then you had to hand out flyers. You couldn't just send out a Facebook request.
Right.
So who's doing that? Who's on that? Let's go here. Let's go there. Like, I mean, you know, like, and not being too cool for school to go to hand out flyers. You know,
Right.
certain guys thought they were too big of rock stars to go get in on the ground floor and work and work. So it just in writing songs and trying to get better and trying to put on better shows, new ideas, you know, new riffs, everything just really, really. And looking back and going, man, that's just like crazy, you know? It's like, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that we were so serious about it. And like, you know, I ran a Papa John's that, you know, I would feed them. I mean, they'd call me almost every day to come get a free pizza, and I don't blame them, you know. But I mean, you know, I could have been running a store as a general manager, but I was just assistant manager because I didn't want to have to miss band practice. I mean, that's how serious. You know, probably making $50,000-$60,000 a year, and that's not too bad for somebody with barely a high school diploma. And
right.
You know, it's like, but I was motivated because that money that I made there bought flyers, bought guitars, bought amps, bought, you know, and it takes all of it. You want to sound good live, you know?
Right.
I remember doing albums, our first album, was like, man, I got to go buy a new amp. My amp does not sound that good, you know? It's like, I'm going to go spend $2,000 on an amp to make it sound as good as it sounds on that recording, because this is not working, you know?
So, I mean, looking back on, you know, those days, I mean, you had to work so hard just to get by. And these days, there's social media, Facebook event invites, bands in town where you can just follow all this stuff.
Sure.
Do you feel like it was more work back then, or has it kind of balanced itself out because album sales aren't what they used to be now?
Yeah, I was going to say, it kind of,
you know.
Right, but the touring's expensive, you know, like it's so, like, renting a bus is, you know, $400 or $500 a day, okay? Yeah. Now you got a bus driver, he's got to have a hotel room along with his salary. So you're probably $1,000 a day. Now, some of these shows you might get a good payday, but some of them you might not, you know, and some of them might make a bonus on selling out, and some of them you won't, you know. So it's like, it's definitely balanced itself out with being able to do the social media thing, but there's just no money left in rock and roll. It's really, at the end of the day, record companies, major ones, are not signing rock acts. And if they do sign rock acts, they're signing them with these things called a 360 deal, which is basically you have to give a percentage of your merch money to the record label.
Oh, wow.
So now that's just insane,
that's
you know?
Because that's where most of the money comes from. That's where the money comes from now, is merch sales.
Right, that's it. That's the biggest thing people can do to help a band, is to buy one of their T-shirts.
Yeah.
That's really it, you know. I mean, on our level, to buy our CD is very helpful also, too, but, you know, you get to these big companies and stuff. I mean, we were with Universal on that third record, Feeding the Wolves,
yeah,
and it was like they made us spend $500,000 on an album. There's no way we're going to make that much money back. There's no way. What? And so they're like the Titanic, where they didn't really. We were at where Autumn Effect sold 500,000 copies, or almost. And, you know, and we have way more fans that come out to our shows now than we ever did back then.
Yeah.
But we can't give an album away. It's just, you know, and that's the biggest thing people can do to help too, is actually buy the CD, you know, or buy. I mean, a lot of, and I got in a lot of trouble online of asking people to pay $1 for a song. I mean, it's insane. You know, people, how dare I ask to get paid for my job, you know?
Right.
It's like, and everybody got mad. I mean, not everybody. A lot of people came to my defense, like, look, you don't know the struggles of what we've been through to try to stay afloat. You know, I've almost lost my house, and it's not like a big, ridiculous house. It's a normal. I bought it from my mom. It wasn't like I was going out and spending, you know, I drove a junker car around for years that was just falling apart because I didn't have the money to go lease a car or anything. I didn't have, you know, it was like, and I was on the road so much, I didn't really care about having you know, it was like, but it was tough, and ran up credit card debt just to be able to keep my house.
Right.
You know, it's like, it wasn't, you know, champagne and cocaine like everybody thinks it is. it was, we all had rough years. There was a couple years that, like, during the division cycle when we were getting ripped off by our managers, and, it was like the well had dried up and there wasn't anything left, and it's like, oh my God, is this going to be the end of our band? And luckily we switched to another management firm, and Universal let us make Feeding the Wolves, but then we had to fight with them to get Shoot It Out to be the first single. They wanted to go with Fix Me, because Fix Me obviously is a hit, But we're like, we know it's a hit. Give us some credibility. Rock and roll is so much about credibility.
Yeah.
It's like, but a business machine doesn't understand that. Yeah. And that's what happens to all these bands that are great bands. They put out the kind of the single, and then, these amazing bands never even get a chance to be heard because they're just kind of lumped into that jingle rock category. And it's sad because there's a lot of great bands out there that just are never going to have a chance to be heard,
Right. Well, I mean, that's where, tours like this last one you guys did, you brought out Otherwise, who they're a band that they need to be heard and they need to be seen.
Sure.
Then Glorious Sons, Illuminath, I mean, that's where tours like this really come in handy and help a lot of bands out because you guys sell shows out and they're able to get in front of fans.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because I'm buddies. I text with Steph, the guitar player from Deftones, and I'm texting with him. I'm like, man, why don't you guys take us out on tour? He's like, we don't want to pay you. I'm like, yeah, I get it, because like the bands like Deftones don't need bands like us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They can go headline wherever and probably sell it out, and they don't. He's like, they'd rather pay, and it's a business thing. He's like, they'd rather pay a band $500 a night than pay us $3 or $4 grand, or whatever. It's like, and it makes sense, but it's like, man, it sucks though, because it's like, I want to go tour with them, Again, it was great, but I get it. So we're kind of having a little bit of a different philosophy because where we're at, we need good support bands and not just like buy on bands and stuff like that. We need bands that are like good, and no matter the whole spectrum. It's like. These bands were all over the place, but they were all good at what they did, if that makes sense. Like, I might be biased towards one band or another that I like better, but it doesn't matter because everybody was doing their stuff great,
Right. Man, it's just so cool to see, especially how good the new album is, man. What's the rest of 2015 looking like? I assume, obviously, the release in a couple weeks. Just lots of touring, lots.
Well, Jesse, our singer's getting married on Saturday. Yeah, so he's doing that, and just touring. We're gonna tour until we're talking about. I think we're doing some shows in Europe with our good friends in Seven Dust and Non-Point and stuff. So we're gonna be go all over the world, preaching our message of rock and roll and. We'll probably do that for a couple years, depending on how, the singles are still popping, 2 or 3 years. And then we had a great success doing the acoustic tour. So we'll probably go do that again, and it was fun and pretty easy. It's like, not really that physically taxing. And then we had talked about, we did this thing on New Year's, and we did it here at home, and a couple of the old guys came, the old band members, Lewis and Matt came and did it. We did the Autumn Effect record start to finish.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that was cool. A little stressful because I hadn't played a lot of those songs in a long time. Maybe a couple of them we've never played. So it was a little stressful, but, we got through it. And, Brian was going to do it, but he was having some family stuff, so he wasn't able to do it. But our touring drummer, Kyle, came in and killed it. He's an amazing drummer. So, so probably that's the next 3 or 4 years. And just, being busy, but we're all, we got kids and families and stuff now. So it's like, we're not like Otherwise where they're still hungry. Like, I'm kind of hungry, but I'm tired and old. So, let's go. I told our manager, I was like, 4 weeks. That's as long as I want to go out. And, of course, the first one was 6, and the next one's like 5. Like, you guys don't hear me, It's like I start out going to the gym every day and all this, and by the end of it, I'm drinking a bottle of whatever I get my hands on. It's like, it's sad when you get so, like, you're out touring. And as long as the shows are good, I'm fine. But we had a couple of stinkers, really not that many compared to most tours. Yeah. But it's like those are the days where it's, like, kind of tough. Because you're like, man, this is just like, the venue sucked, the promoter sucked, and didn't do his end.
Right.
But it's like, those are the only days you're like, man, it's tough, But when the shows are popping, like we had a great show in Chicago. It was like, man, this is great. And that was 4.5, almost 5 weeks in. So it was like, it was good. It's definitely ups and downs the older you get. But I mean, me and Jesse just kind of look at it like, it's still paying the bills. We're all still having fun, but. I guess you don't want to be on tour so long that you start resenting people that like your band,
Right.
And I have been on tours like that, where it's just so long that you just could care less. It's like groundhog life. It's like you just don't care, and that sucks because like these people, and I try real hard not to have that philosophy now because I understand these people are helping me pay my bills and stuff like that, and pay my kids can eat and stuff like that.
Right.
But it still floats around in there sometimes. Just so you just have to really try to stay positive.
Right.
But it's hard. I mean, we've been doing it professionally for 10 years, and we did a lot of really long tours with mismanaged, all kinds of stuff. So, but when it's popping, man, it's great. It's just those days you're like, oh, come on, man. The promoter didn't even promote the show at all, or it's in such an area that everybody's kind of left that area because it's so run down. Right. Or even the local rock station closed. You can tell over the years where we were selling out rooms, and it's harder and harder to get people to come out because nobody has that local rock radio station they listen to anymore. So,
which is
it's definitely got its ups and its downs, but we're pretty much like a hard-working band. We go in, we go to merch, we sign everything. A testament to, again, our singer, Jesse. I mean, he will shake every hand. He will kiss every baby you got, So, he's a good dude.
Man, Tater.
He's getting married.
Tater, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today, man.
Absolutely, man.
This has been awesome. We got to do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime. I'll talk to anybody. Get me going. He got me up. They were getting mad at me in New York City because I was doing interviews. I was going too long. Like, I don't care. I'll tell stories all day and night long. I always make the joke to the Luminos guys. I'm like, don't worry, I'll be back in an hour and I'll tell you another story. It's like, I got a lot of them over the last 10 years. We can definitely joke about that. Like, boy, we got a lot of stories, don't we? Yeah, we do.